Unreal. It's been so long since we've done this.
We don't know what to do.
We're lost. We don't know what to do. Erin obviously don't know what to do. She's off and
Oh boy.
she done completely went somewhere. I don't even know what she's doing.
I clicked that button and then that popped up.
New managing moderators can support your channel. Well, Charlie's here. Well, that's all that's here. Let's go. We can go home now. Since Charlie's here. It seems like I just talked to Charlie. Oh, he had an early notification. That's because I set the channel up like 10 minutes ago. Because I knew tonight wouldn't be very long. And I wasn't really worried about the camera running out of power. So
we're gonna run out of what to talk about.
Yeah. But we figured that we would come and say hey to everybody and let everybody know what's going on rather than not doing anything at all, which last week we didn't have the camera because we've been moving because we bought a house and everything was packed and I didn't know where everything was. So we have located the camera and everything else. So we're back, but we still don't have no car to work on. We have some cars in the shop. We have some in the process. We're waiting on Sandy John Patterson, to bring back the Fairlane. He has the Fairlane. We talked to him today. He is blasting it. He should be priming it, or yeah, priming it, whatever.
Blasting today, priming tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So he says he'll have it back to us Thursday morning.
Mm-hmm.
So next Tuesday, definitely know that we have the car to work on. As of right now, we don't have nothing. I thought T-Rex was going to bring the Mustang up today, but it'll be in the morning. So I was thinking, well, if he comes today with the Mustang, I'll have something I can do with the Mustang, figuring out what we're going to do with it and what all I've got to do for the whole build. I'm not sure exactly what the car entails because when I went to his shop and carried the Galaxy there, I didn't really look at it. Craig did. And then I was told later on that we were going to be doing the car. So I didn't really pay any attention to it because we usually don't do Mustangs, but we're returning the favor for him doing the Galaxy, for doing the paint and body on the Galaxy. We're returning the favor and going to do the Mustang for him. I think 67, 68 something, 68, 69.
I have no idea.
So I'm going to be doing that, and we might start doing Mustangs. So let's see.
We're gonna build a Mustang and we're gonna build a Fairlane, and we're gonna determine off of those two builds which one, if it might be both, if we're gonna turn on a Mustang line and a Fairlane line.
Yeah, so I've got to build a jig for the Mustang. I'm not sure yet. I haven't talked with Craig to see if he wants me to build a jig or if I'm just going to do it like any other car that we don't normally build, that I build, like the 55 Chevy. We don't normally build them, and we're not trying to do a line of them, but I have built them. I do it on the suspension. I've built a couple other cars off of suspension and not really on a jig, but that was like one-time things. The Mustang, yeah, I could build it on the suspension and get it done, but if we're going to do a line of them, because the parts, we're going to probably go ahead and make a table for it, a jig.
We got 12, so we got JK, Rudolph, Paul, my pops, your pops.
JK, yeah, Rudolph, Paul, Mr. Fish, Mr. Smith.
Catfish.
How you doing?
Sandy, John, and Wes.
Yep, and there's John right after I was talking about him.
He said primering tomorrow. So,
yeah.
What'd we call it?
Priming.
Is that the word we said?
Yeah. I said priming, and I was kind of thinking to myself, is it priming because it's I don't know. I'm lost right now. But anyways, I'm glad John's here.
Hey, Mickey.
I love John. He's awesome. I love all you guys.
Y'all, great news. Great news. Like, your prayers have come through on this one, so thank you for the prayers. Craig's PET scan came back clear. He's having his last chemo treatment this week, and then he's done. He's so excited. He came in Monday and talked with me and GB for a little bit, and he's like, after I get over this one, I'm coming back in. I'm getting back on my projects. So he's kept really good spirits through the whole thing, but I just wanted to say thank you guys for your prayers, because he's all clear.
Yep.
Hey, Mommy. I love you.
Wes and
Mike and Mary.
Mike and Mary.
Jeff.
Can you build a 69 Dodge Charger body using all new metal? We cannot just yet. AMD is working on it, and I actually think I don't know. I seen the roof structure pieces that they were missing, but I still haven't seen the inner quarter structure. So I'm not sure.
What's the other one besides the Camaro that we can do?
The only car that we can build completely new besides Camaro and Firebird is the Challenger.
Okay, so the Charger still waiting on pieces.
So yeah, but I will find out on that, Jeff, if we can. I know they had put all the parts up, but I still, like I said, I've seen the roof structure. They have all the components of it. I think, I'm not sure if they have the front roof bow, but the inner quarter structure, I haven't seen that yet. Let's see.
So he asked about the Challenger. We can do the Challenger, can't do the Charger.
Yeah, we can build the Challenger without a donor. And the Challenger's pretty much the same as a CUDA, but they don't make all the parts for a CUDA, and we have more CUDA builds than anything. It seems like they would have the parts for the CUDA, but they're missing the front roof structures. They're missing the sun visor, the corner pieces for the sun visors, and I think they might have the little side roof structure in production now, but they're still missing pieces on the CUDA, and the CUDA's like the #1 car that we build. We actually have one. That's a Challenger. So we got a CUDA, a Challenger, a Dart, a Chevelle, and a second gen, which we'll walk around, because I know some people have asked about our bracing and stuff like that, and I was like, yeah, I can make a video tonight showing how to brace up a car, and then I figured there'd be a bunch of people messaging in about I was doing it wrong. So let's see. How you doing, Donald?
Paradise, Gunner,
Quarter
Ty.
structure A-pillar of the first gen, for the first gen Camaros, Dynacorn only. I don't think they're gonna do anything with the Camaros. I think AMD was pretty much I think most of the stuff, I don't think they produce anything for the Camaro. Well, maybe they do.
What's the question?
If any plans for AMD making the quarter structures and stuff. I don't think they are, because AMD, I think they started out with like the Camaro and Chevelle stuff, but then they was like, well, Dynacorn's building that stuff. Now, don't quote me on this, but Dynacorn's building that stuff, so why are we doing it? Nobody's doing the Mopar stuff. So they started doing Mopar stuff, and that's how they've got the rights and stuff for the Mopar, from Mopar, to build the Mopar parts and actually produce the full charger. So I don't think they're going to invest any more money into the Camaros. I don't even know if they're going to do anything with the chargers and the Mopars. I mean, they're the line of the darts and stuff. They're not even doing anything, producing any more parts for it. Yeah.
They're actually discontinuing some of the A-body parts, and I was asked about parts that haven't been, the boxes still show they're out of stock. And when you ask, hey, when are they going to be back in stock, they said you'll get A-body parts when the mountains sway. So they have no intentions of working on A-body stuff. I think their main drive right now is Mopar and C10s, but not A-body Mopar.
The Chevelle
still need a donor car.
I think you would need a donor. They make a lot of it, and I'll have to look into it. I think they don't have the inner quarter structure for those. They make about everything else.
If you go to our website, there's an estimator on there, and you can type in 65 Chevy Chevelle, and it will show you every part that we can get from our multiple vendors that we use, because we don't, AMD's our #1 vendor, but we do have other vendors. We use some Dynacorn stuff, and then there's other vendors that house AMD stuff, like Jeg, Summit, A-Tech, Classic Industries makes some parts, OER, who else? Eckler's. There's a bunch of, we have multiple places that we can source parts from, but our estimator will show you the ones that we use. They're all on the list. So if you go through that list for a Chevelle and you see something missing, you can pretty much guarantee that they don't make it anywhere, because it would be on the estimate otherwise.
Daniel said, is replacement panels and parts still hard to get?
Yes.
Yes, they are still hard to get. We're trying to get customers that are building their cars right now to go ahead and purchase the parts, because I mean, it's just they some of them don't want to purchase them, and they've been given the option, and they don't buy them then, and right now we're waiting on a rear cross member, but then when the rear cross member comes in and we look up, then we're missing the inner wheelhouse. So we're trying to get them to go ahead and buy it.
And I can understand wanting to wait. We're just explaining to them that we bring cars in that are ready to build. So if somebody put their deposit down in January and somebody else put their deposit down in June, but January's still waiting on parts to come in, but all of June's cars' parts are in, June's coming in before January. That's just how I got to keep the shop going. And then people that do take the opportunity and go ahead and get all their parts purchased and set to the side, they're kind of, ahead of the game too, because they've already got their order in for that part that may be out of stock. So as soon as it comes back in stock, they've already signed up for one. Whereas somebody who's decided not to do the parts deposit is hoping that they'll get one. But if there's already 100 people waiting on that cross member and they only ship 100, then it's immediately out of stock the day it's back in stock. So
yeah,
that's a struggle we're having with prioritizing the shop, keeping the customers happy, trying to make sure that we're keeping it in order as much as we possibly can. But we've got a lot of parts that have no ETA at all, and if there's no ETA on file, that means, generally speaking, it's a minimum of 6 months out before we'll see them again. So
yeah, and like I say, they're I don't know what they're doing. Like I say, I can't speak for them. I do know that the A-body stuff is they're not making, they're discontinuing those parts. It seems like to me they're pushing C10s. Everybody's pushing C10s. I hate to say it, because
We don't build C10s.
I don't build C10s.
It's a flavor of the month too. It will fall off.
And I don't really care for the C10s. I don't know. It's one of those things. It's not one of my things, which I was never really a Camaro guy either. First gen Camaro.
We looked at building them. We really did.
But the money in
them. By the time we buy all the parts and put all the parts on, there's no way that people are gonna pay what it would cost us to put that cab together, because I think that's why the C10 started getting all this popularity so quickly, is because they're supposed to be cheap, quick, and easy to build. Yeah. We're not a cheap, quick, and easy shop. We're perfectionists. We like to do things meticulously and restore those cars or whatever we're building at the time so that you can have something to be proud of, not something just slapped together. So we're just not going to do C10s.
There's a lot of craze for the C10s, and there's some beautiful C10s out there. I mean,
some of them are going for crazy money.
And they're going for crazy money, and that's going to die out because people were building C10s because it was a cheaper hobby to get into. But now that everybody, the craze is going, you can't find a C10. Used to, you could buy a C10 square body for $1,200 running driving. Now you can't find one for $6,000. But if you post one trying to sell it for $4,000 that's in great shape, you get laughed off the internet. It's crazy.
That shows how new it is, though, because you still got the buyers that are wanting it for $2,000, but you got the sellers that are selling it for $10,000, and some are coming together and making a, I mean, it's working somewhere, but no.
They told us at AMD that we should build the C10s, and I'm like, they're crazy over them, and I seen the video. There's a video going around, and it's actually the truck that AMD gave away. It was a square body. We built that truck. Didn't get no credit for it, but we built that truck here, and the truck was given away, and they were posting that somebody went around and took the video of it and posted it on like TikTok, and it went crazy, and they're selling full bodies. I had them arguing with me about it. They're selling full bodies, they're building full bodies, and I'm like, no, they're not. They do not make all the parts. Yeah, they do, they got it, they're doing a giveaway, they're giving away. No, they're not. We built that truck here. I know what parts they have, and they were going crazy over it. Well, then AMD's like, well, y'all should build C10s. The people's going crazy over them. Yeah, they're going crazy over that video of it, but if I was to give them a price on it, none of them would want to buy it. No, none of them would want to pay the amount of money. They're like, yeah, you can build the C10 for about $9,000. I said, no, you can't. You can't buy the parts, every part for a C10 to build one for $9,000. And then you got labor. You can't do it. A C10 would probably, I would say probably $15,000, $18,000 for us to build a C10 cab, and
15
people
on
ain't
the
gonna
lower
want to pay
end,
it.
but people are wanting to do the big wide tires on it, so that takes specialty pieces or modifications, so that's going to cost a little bit more. And we're a business at the end of the day, and if we're not going to make any profit, and we don't think it's going to be something that's going to add, if I'm not going to build 2 or 3 of them a year, I'm not doing it. Because just tabling them cost us thousands of dollars to create a table.
Yeah,
it's not. I mean, metal ain't cheap anymore, guys.
and time, and we had to get that back before we even make anything off of it. And then we still don't. I mean, our labor rate is $75 an hour.
Yeah,
that is not killer. We don't make thousands of dollars off of people's cars. I mean, $75 an hour labor rate. We're only doing what it takes us to do, an average of what it takes. If we built 5 Camaros, or if we were like the Mustang, I would figure out the time of me building it, we would figure out the time of another builder building it, figure out the time of another, and we'd average that together between a couple of builds and get an average, and that's what we would base our time on to build a car.
Yeah.
One guy might be slow, one guy might be quicker, but we try to get an average, a fair average on what it is.
So it requires time study. So the first build's going to be slow and one off. I see Bubba says, so you're not going to build my 69 GMC? You can bring your 69 GMC and we will build it. Don't tell the whole world, but just speaking of trying to turn on a production line for C10s or the Apaches or anything, even the Galaxy or the Fairlane or the Mustang, it's going to require tooling, time studies. We can't just say we're going to start building them and it's that easy. That's not how it works.
Hey Scott, I seen you comment and I've been waiting to say, hey, I hope everything's going well with you. Haven't seen you in a long time. Miss you and love you. Let's see, Johnny, hello. On 70 to 72 Chevelle, I'm replacing inner side cowls, non-AC car. There's 2 air vent valves welded to the cowl. How do you cut them out for the air vent valves? Thanks. I think he's talking about on the inside. I'm not real sure on that, John. I'm not sure what part you're talking about.
Let's see, John, if you could email me some pictures. Yeah, if you could
email, Aaron's gonna post the email. If you can email some pictures, I'll gladly help you with it. I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm not 100% sure.
There's Go-Go and Holly Rock, Dennis.
Rob?
Hi, guys.
I would love to build some dent sides and some bump side Fords.
Yeah, and I think they are working on doing a lot more Ford product. So, well, I mean, who knows what the future is going to hold. Just messing with you, but I would like to do it one day. Well, Bubba, I promise you, if you want us to work on that truck, we will.
Yeah. I'll do it. I mean, I need some content, and I've said that I actually was going to do a big back window on somebody's. I can't remember what year it was.
Is that Chloe in your little icon picture, Bubba?
So let's see.
It looks like Lola.
There we have a CUDA convertible in the back. It's actually a
70.
It's a 70 CUDA convertible, and it's
bright yellow.
No,
not that one.
It ain't primer. It's he's done had like 6 cars built by us.
You're talking about.
But I think it's a 440 6-pack automatic, maybe CUDA convertible. And then we have a this Grasso's, this one. Yeah. It's a purple 440 Hemi 6-pack car too, that's supposed to be I think it's a automatic 6-pack car. I think it's supposed to be rare. I'm not sure on the CUDA stuff.
We have to just take when they tell us my car's a this, and this. We don't run your VIN. We don't track it back. We just say, yep, okay.
Now, some of them I know. Some of them I can tell if it is or not.
Like by the torque boxes or
like Chevelle's, when they tell about the Chevelle.
Oh, that's a big block. Oh, really?
That it's a big block car. It's not, and I can look at the front torque boxes and tell you if it is or not. And then I can look at the CUDAs and the B bodies and stuff and tell them without knowing.
I'm still learning some of those tricks, but I did learn the torque box Chevelle trick.
Which I can show y'all.
But that's different on a convertible though, right?
Yeah, on the convertible it's different. This car right here that came, it was, the guy kept telling me that
LS6.
It was an LS6 big block Chevelle, and I was like, no, it's not. And he kept arguing with me, yes it is, and said, no, it's not. And then finally I showed him, and he said, oh yeah, I'm building it into one.
Yeah, I took the VIN off another. Never.
No, he didn't do that. He had the car. He just was making a clone and trying to make it look like it. And I said, well, then if you're doing that, we need to add these torque boxes instead of the torque boxes that you have on your firewall. We got to take those off and put the right ones on there to make it correct. But
Scott asked a question.
Because there's more SS Chevelles and Camaros and RSs on the road than they ever produced.
Yeah, because everybody's just converting them. the the convertible CUDA, can it be done? Yeah, I mean, we've got a few. I mean, if you need
they don't make the parts, you would need the car.
Yeah.
Because they don't make the quarter panels. I have to cut the quarter panels in and make them. Deck filler they don't make. I have to make those if theirs is no good, and they don't make none of the inner structure, as far as I know.
We kind of run into that with just about any convertible though. Some of those inner structure pieces for the convertible, either they don't make that or the quarter panels have to be modified from the coupe.
We got a satellite convertible coming tomorrow. No.
Is it tomorrow or Monday?
Monday. So we have a convertible. They don't make the wheelhouse
satellite
cabs.
Sport convertible.
Yeah, satellite sport convertible.
Ooh.
Sorry, I'm late, teacher. Yes. So.
Demerit for William. So what all is involved with the front and rear conversion?
Dennis texted me earlier, or sent me a message on, and I haven't read it yet. Dennis,
bad boy.
Calling me out now.
Demerit for Juby.
So, but I got to get with him, which I've already had Aaron look up the parts and stuff. But with the '76 Camaro front and rear conversion, the front end is just the bolt-on stuff. There's nothing, no mods changed except for you just have to buy the upper lower valence, nose, cone, whatever, the fenders. But on the rear, it takes trunk floor, the frame rails had to be modified, tail panel, quarter panels. I'm not sure about the inner wheelhouse. I can't remember. We did one in the magazine, and we were thinking that it might take off and we would be able to turn your rubber-nosed second gen into a split bumper or steel bumper car. And we never really put it together because we never really have any interest in it. We have a 71 second gen.
This is 70.
70, yeah. Which still, same thing. 70, yeah. 71, 72.
You gave me a 66 deck lid.
Well then, but as far as the back, you'd have to just buy the tail lights and stuff like that, the bumper, the rear back glass would change. It would go from the wraparound back glass. Oh, yeah. I think the rear back glass is bigger on the later ones.
But that's another one that we didn't build a jig for the 77 and up.
Yeah, we have a jig for the 70s.
Yeah.
70, whatever, 73, 70 through 72, 73, something. So if we do a later one, we really need to convert it, but we can still do it, I'm sure. I just had to figure it out.
Yeah. Again, that would be a time on kind of thing because we haven't done the time study. We don't have a table. We haven't had anybody else since we did the conversion. We have not done another conversion.
Yeah. So we haven't really changed anything up. But it basically uses the same table. It's just the end of the frame rails on the later one are a little bit longer. Yeah. We had to cut and mod the frame rails on the later one to make it into an earlier second gen.
Bubba said that is Lolo Bird. Just Lolo Bird.
But we'll get the camera so we can walk around for a minute so it ain't just talking, even that's really all we got. But we'll go walk back here and look at the Chevelle, and I'll show you guys, because people talk about bracing. Well, we got this is the CUDA. This is the one that was supposed to be rare. I think it's actually a purple car as well. This car was really, really nice. It got stage 3 stiffening, torque boxes, frame connectors, wheel tubs. It got the works, radiator support, lower, upper stiffeners. Then that one's been here for a while, and I'll show y'all on the front what I was talking about on the big block cars. on the Chevelle, usually it don't have this section here. It curves in and it don't have this spot for this bolt. It only has this spot. If somebody's trying to sell you a 70 Chevelle and they're saying it's a big block car, you can't tell by the VIN number, except for if it's like a Canadian car, then they put it in the VIN. But right here, now somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I do know that the big block car has the small block has a single. Big block has 2 holes for bolts, unless it's a convertible. All convertibles have the dual ones. So
Big block
this one was a single. It was a small block car. Now it's converted to the double to make it a big block car. The 70 second gen Camaro, 67 Chevelle. I need to adjust the doors on that. He's actually picking up Monday. Tomorrow. So first thing in the morning, I gotta adjust that door.
Okay.
So everybody asks about bracing up, and you see all these people that have braces ran everywhere, bars welded in, just all crazy. I mean, they'll have a bar going across here and a bar across here, and then bars here and bars up. This is how we do it. We don't do a bunch of bars. These here, I think Wes was asking me, Wes and Charlie and some of the guys that are on our Tech Talk chat thought that, I think they thought that this was where wheels were located on a drawing. And I said, no, those are for these things. These slip in, and that allows us to tack it here and to tack it up here. Because when the car comes back from blast, it'll look like this. Floor in it. If it wasn't getting the floor, or if it's getting the floor wouldn't be blasted and painted, and we would have to remove it. So we would set the car on the table. We would slip in those into these, tack it here, put one back here and tack it, and then we would cut the floor out, and that just keeps this suspended so we can slip the floor back in. Once we get the floor back in the rocker height set, we cut this loose and let it set down on the car. We don't have no bunch of braces and stuff ran everywhere. We X everything out. We got measurements on all the stuff. This is one of those that they don't make the inner structures on. So if Aaron comes over here, Devin to put his tools up at night. This right here is a prime example of messed up package tray hooked here, and it's rotted. Now they don't make this structure, so all this stuff's got to get patched. This side over here looked like that side, so we patched all of it in and fixed it, and he's gonna work on this up here and get all the flanges back. But this side here looked like that side over there. So this is kind of time on. When the customer brings it, we quote them the quarter panels of floor. They have a set, every one of them have a set amount of time. But when we're patching stuff that they do not make or reproducing it, it's time on. But we kind of quote them in the beginning. From what we see, this is basically 20 hours worth of work or 30 hours worth of work, and we tell them that's what it is. But it's still kind of an open, Aaron knows the word. The file, it's an open.
It's a live document. So anytime anything changes, they're aware, and we also keep them up to speed. So we'll send them this picture and say, hey, just so you understand, this is going to require patching because they do not make it. And then we'll send them this picture and say, hey, look how beautiful that is now. And we'll tell them that took this odd many hours, and that goes on your invoice.
Now we don't go say this took 50 hours to
When it
do
took
and
3.
try, and it took
Yeah.
3 hours.
It's time on.
It's time on. Erin gets on to the guys because we have sheets, and every day she's like, you must not want to get paid. You didn't put no time here, whatever. Where's your time? Says you got 8 hours, but you've been here 10 hours. Where's the 2 hours that's missing?
Yeah.
And then if he comes and says, well, I had 2 hours patching, and she goes back and looks and says, well, that's less than 2 hours worth of patching, then somebody's in trouble.
Yeah.
If you spent more than whatever allotted time is for that.
Yeah.
But this is how it is. Now the floor gets slipped in, and the car, those will get cut once the floor gets in and the wheelhouses get put in there. This will get cut and it'll set back down. Even though it is kind of setting at the correct height, because this is where it was welded with the car was sitting on this jig before the floor was cut out. So it's pretty much, I don't want to shake it too hard. It might fall off there, but nah.
But these are not duplicated like a box puzzle put together snap tight situation. Every single car has its own little set of nuances that
I mean,
it take a little finesse here and a little finesse there. If you take a door off of your 2019 GMC Sierra and go put it on your friend's 2019 GMC Sierra, it's not going to fit real good.
They're made per car, and every one of these pieces are not welded exactly the same on every car. They're pretty much in the same area, but they have a tolerance of to where it will be at. So going in here and measuring this bolt hole and then putting a new piece in there and measuring to that bolt hole is not going to work, because I guarantee you the aftermarket piece, the bolt hole is going to be moved some way or another. Get the part in there, float it in, make it work, get the whole car working, X everything out, make sure that it's Xing out within 1/4 of an inch. If I measure 59 1/4 here, and then on that side I only measure 59, you're like, oh man, it's out 1/4 of an inch. It's not really out 1/4 of an inch, because if you shift it, you're only going to move 1/8 of an inch to that side, so it'd be 59 1/8 and 59 1/8. That's not
Bad.
horrible. I mean that's.
But don't be afraid to rack on these things
Yeah.
either.
Now if it measures out, you can throw a strap on it and pull it a little bit. Pull the strap, get it set, and then leave that strap there where it's measuring out. Weld the whole car up and then pop the strap loose if you're worried about that little 1/8 of an inch. The cars are, don't be afraid to move stuff just because you pulled a measurement and it's this. If the car works and it's working with those parts, that's all that matters. There was a Camaro that came in here. It was a brand new body. The guy pulled in, I probably told y'all before. Erin said, the car's here to be built. Come out here and check it in. And she handed me the sheet, and I was walking out before I even looked at the sheet. Car was sitting on the trailer, and I was like, dude, like what do you want done with this car? It looks like it's brand new. And I got up in it and I started looking. I was on the trailer and I looked down in it, and there was some welds that were plug welded, but they wasn't ground flat and looked smooth or anything. It was just a bunch of welds. I was like, what do you want me to do, clean up welds? And he said, no, go to the front. And I walked to the front and I looked through the car, and when I looked through the car, it looked like a funhouse mirror. It was just crooked. I was like, whoa, I don't know what I can do with this thing. And we decided that he was going to leave it, and I told him, let me put it on the jig on the table and see if I can figure out what's going on with it. Well, I put it on the table. It was 1.5 inch difference on a 69 Camaro from the front to the rear of the rocker on this side, and then on that side it was 1.5 inch difference from the rear to the front. So the whole car was twisted, and the door gaps were perfect. The door gaps were perfect on both sides. The trunk was, the deck lid was perfect. I don't know what they did. I think they bought a whole side structure from Dynacorn, and it had the door and all that stuff was together, and they stuck it on the car this way, and then they had the other side, a whole structure, and they stuck it on the car this way. How they got the deck lid and all that right, I don't know.
You couldn't get glass in it though.
No, it had a big knot up here. They had split it and laid it over and worked it, and it was bad. I don't know who built it, where it came from.
Just because we say don't be afraid to rack on it, there is a wrong way to put them together too.
Yeah, I mean, usually your doors will tell you if your car's out of square. If you put a door on there and the door's profiling up top and it's way in down here, and you've got it sticking out, meeting the rocker over here, the edge of the rocker is profiling, but the rear ain't, your door might need racked. But most of the time, if it's like that, it's meaning that either the upper part of it needs pulled in or it needs pushing out. I've had it that way, and you fix all that before you weld this, because it's going to hold it. Pull a measurement, and like I say, sometimes the measurement, wherever you're measuring from on the inside of the rocker to this point, who knows if that part was exactly the same. I try to get the same parts. If I use the AMD rocker on that side, I'm going to use an AMD rocker on this side. You want everything to kind of be uniform. But anyways,
you don't want to put a Dynacorn quarter on the left-hand side and an AMD quarter on the right-hand side, and then sometimes your door lines won't match up with your quarter panel lines, and body work does come into play, but we try our best to make sure that you're getting a pretty matched up vehicle.
Yeah, this car came in, and we usually don't take in stuff like this, but somebody had put a floor in, and you can see their plug welds, and you can see, I don't know why they did it this way, but the floor didn't go back but that much further. Why they didn't just go ahead and put the whole floor in, I have no idea. But they put this, and actually I might have just solved that problem as to why they didn't, because I got to thinking about it. This A-body, they put this floor in, and to do the floor, I would have had to do the firewall, because they welded it all the way out, because there's no way I can get that loose. But I think I just solved my issue, because I was wondering about this floor being this far up, why they didn't just put the whole floor in when there's only that much more. You can see the line, and then you can see the end here. It's like they cut the floor off, put it in here instead of going on back. But then I just got to thinking about it. Up underneath here, you can see a pocket. This is the old floor, and that pocket, and Brandon actually came to me and he said, Jimmy, I don't know what they got going on, because this piece here is not right there. But now that I think about it,
I wish you'd spit it out. We all want to know what you're thinking about.
what am I thinking about? Is I think this floor is for something different.
Oh.
And that's why this hole is not going all the way back to here.
I bet the A-body floor was out and they bought something that was close enough.
I think that this floor is made short. That's the actual length of this floor. And they made this piece to go in there to make up for what was missing, to be able to put a new floor in this. So this is probably a floor for something else.
And like Jimmy said, we don't typically take in stuff like that, but
because
on the occasion that we do, we document it, and it is on the build, because we don't want things going all off, running down the road, and people go, man, who did that work? AMD or Installation Center or whoever. And like, no.
Yeah, because when this car goes, the next stop for this car is going to be the paint and body shop. And when this guy pulls in with this car at the paint and body shop, he's going to pull it in there, and he's going to be bragging about it to whoever. He's like, yeah, I just had all this work done at the installation center. And the person that's there ain't going to say, man, that looks like crappy floor you got in there. They're going to be like, thinking it in their head, oh, that looks like crap. And how much did you pay to have this done? And then he's going to tell them, and they're going to be like, whoa, that looks horrible.
Yeah.
I don't want my name on this.
It's bad publicity for us because we didn't put this floor in.
And I mean,
but it'll be on the build sheet. And
now
that's all
we're gonna clean some of it up like they did the they did this, which you can't really see, but you can see on the inside there's a patch right here. There's patching right there. They patched all this. This trunk floor is actually lapped on top of another trunk floor, and they plug welded through. They just cut the old trunk floor right on the frame rails and laid this one on top of it. They solid welded the drop offs. This one got mini tubbed. Brandon's been working on the mini tub, but you can see them patches, but Brandon done cleaned up the backside. It looked horrible, which you can see Brandon's done cleaned it up where it was welded. This side too, it looks like he's still working on it up here, but they had a patch there, and you can actually look on the backside and see how horrible it is. I mean, look, how many big blobs of weld.
We don't do that.
So to make it look good, I told Brandon to go ahead and clean these spots up. So we're gonna clean them up. And when they cut the quarter panel, they cut the roof way up here. And the quarter panel is supposed to be way down here. So now when we put the quarter panel on, it's not gonna
touch the roof.
It's not gonna make it to the roof. So we're gonna have to make a piece in on the roof. They cut this. You can actually see where they welded it, where they cut it, because we didn't do this. It came already cut like this, because they had it at some shop doing the work, and they had it screwed together when it came. And I was seriously gonna tell the guy that
we were hesitating.
I didn't want to do it. For one, it's a dart. They don't make none of the parts no more. They're hard to get. But the guy, you know, basically begged me to get this car done, and we're gonna build it, and it's gonna be good when it's done. It'll be a perfect.
This may very well be our last A-body.
Yeah, probably so. But yeah.
Let me check and see if we got some. I think we got questions. Mr. Mays, is your car back from paint yet?
It's not back from paint yet, but I got news today that I should have it by next Friday. So I'm trying to contemplate on going and get the frame from my dad's house to carry down there and put the car on, which we kind of wanted to have the motor in the frame, but we've done pulled the motor out of the frame, carried it to the engine shop, because we're gonna have him run it, dyno it, and break it in. That way we ain't got to do it in the car and risk something happening, and then we have to pull it out of the car over the car.
I wouldn't want to potentially sling a rod through a brand new painted car.
Yeah, so we pulled the motor off and carried it, and was going to do the dyno and go ahead and get it broke in, and we haven't yet. So I'm hoping that happens, and then we can go ahead and get the motor back in the chassis. If not, I think I'm going to get the chassis, put the car on it to haul it, because I'm worried about the front end flexing going down the road with the inner fenders and the bolts, and not having no support on the front end of it, because the jig don't support the front. I'm thinking about putting it on the chassis to bring it here, and then we'll put it on the lift, pull the body back up in the air, set the motor back on the chassis, put it back under, and then set the car back down on it for the final resting place for it for the rest of its life, hopefully.
Do you know if the El Camino has the same bracing torque box thing? Big block has this, small block has that? I don't know.
I'll have to look that up.
William, if you would email me that question, I will look into that for you tomorrow.
It probably does, because I think it. I think it pretty. I don't know. Is the El Camino? I wonder. Does the El Camino have I guess it has a frame under it. We were gonna do an El Camino one time. We were gonna do quarter panels on it, and it was for a local guy, and then he ended up coming and getting it, so we didn't do it. But yeah, this is let's see. I don't know. I had to look it up. I'm not sure about the El Camino. Never done one. Had actually talked with somebody about doing some on a 59 El Camino. I love those, by the way.
Your dad said that's some Sir Globalot weld in that one.
Yeah. He said,
Lake and Lodge said bubble gum.
Who said that?
Lake and Lodge.
Yeah, they always say hubba bubba and put some
bubble gum.
Hubba bubba.
Caterpillars.
But yeah. I'm gonna make sure this is locked there.
Well, it's 7:50, guys, and we've done our walk around. Y'all have any other questions? Give me more. Gunnar said, when are we going to Charlie's?
We was just talking about that today because Charlie was talking about his car on the chat, and I told him to man up and pull that, stop babying it and work that tail panel.
Charlie, just tell him to hush.
Yeah, Charlie's gonna tell me to be quiet. But he said that he was just saving up or something and he was going to just bring it to me or whatever. And I told him if he brought it, if he could get it to me, I would fix it for him.
Mary wants us to sing the El Camino song.
I don't know nothing about no song. Erin's in the choir. Erin's in the choir. She can sing. But I told Charlie if he could get the car here, I would fix it. Or I'll come up there spring, summertime. Hopefully. Yeah. I got gardening and stuff to do at the house.
We've got potatoes to get in the ground.
Yeah, my neighbor, he's an awesome guy. I went over to his house, went over there this morning before I came to work because he's on his porch at 6 o'clock in the morning.
You talked to Mr. Gordon this morning?
Yeah, I seen Mr. Gordon. I went over there because I asked him the other day. Erin's pointing me to the chair. Seems like she'd want to stand up. She's been sitting all day.
You don't worry about what I do. And I haven't been sitting all day.
But Mr.
I do
Gordon is the neighbor. And we met him. Awesome guy. I love him. Erin loves him.
Oh, he's my best friend now.
So
he also has cows, so that makes it even better.
I went over there and talked to him yesterday and asked him if he needed anything because he's an older guy, and he said he needed some Pepsodent,
some toothpaste,
and he said you can only get it at Ingles. So we ended up going to Walmart and they didn't have it. So last night I went to men's group. Here comes the church part. I went to men's group at the pastor's house, which is on Monday nights, and I left and I went by Ingles and I got him some Pepsodent, which is pretty cheap. Erin said she wished I would have got it too so she could have tried it.
I want to try it. It's got good ingredients.
So
it's American made too.
He tells us that at 2 o'clock he goes inside and makes dinner and lays down. He don't necessarily go to bed. He just says that if he sits in his chair watching TV, he falls asleep, so he figures he'd just go ahead and watch TV from his bed. That way he wouldn't have to get up. He's already there. But he gets up in the morning before we leave because he's like, y'all leave out early for work? Like, yeah. And so this morning, I was going to carry his Pepsodent over there, walk through the gate because we have a gate between our house and his house. And I was going to walk through the gate and put his Pepsodent on his chair where he always sits every time I see him. And I got over there and he was already sitting outside. And he's like, good morning. And I gave him his Pepsodent. He said, how much I owe you? I said, you don't owe me nothing. And he's like, I'm going to pay you something. I said, no, you don't owe me nothing. But he's an awesome guy. And I really enjoy him. But he asked me, do you got the potatoes in the ground? Because I told him I was going to make a garden. And he said he wanted potatoes. And I said, well, Mr. Gordon, I'll plant you some potatoes. So he asked if I had the potatoes in the ground. And you need to get the potatoes in the ground. I said, no, sir.
He does it based on the moon, not the almanac.
The almanac, or the guy at the farmer's market told us.
Farmer's market give us a calendar do hopper. And
it says in March.
It says you can start in February.
Yeah.
But March is the
deadline, I guess.
But anyway, Mr. Gordon's like, no, I do it by the moon, and you can tell by what the moon's doing right now. Y'all need to get those potatoes in the ground. So that's a must. And chickens are supposed to be coming out this week, so hopefully we'll get us some chickens.
Yeah, we're getting chickens. So we got some other stuff for the gardening. So it might turn into a whole homesteading channel.
Yeah, we could do and we'd said about the chickens, instead of doing Tech Talk Tuesday, we could do Peck Talk Tuesday and watch the chickens
Peck Talk Tuesday. I told Aaron, said, I would call about the chickens, but I ain't gonna call and see if they got them because we can't go get them. We don't got time. I said, oh yeah, we got time for chickens. We'll turn that into Tech Talk Tuesday. She said, so it'd be Peck Talk Tuesday.
I didn't call.
No, she didn't call.
We were doing Tech Talk tonight.
So, but I seen somebody said no Popeye, which yeah, Popeye's put up right now. I see Popeye, but
we know Popeye's hanging out in my office finishing up paperwork. He'll be back next week.
Let's see. Have you done any door skinning videos?
Yes, I will find a link and send that to you if you send me an email, so I have your email, and then I'll send you a link to the video of door skinning. Yeah,
I need to label the stuff better so that people can find what's on there, because it's really just
but if y'all have gone and looked, GoGo's done a jam-up job of doing a lot of labeling for us, and it is beautiful. It looks all professional. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Actually, GoGo is the one that made the door skinning video from, it's called Skin That Door.
Skin That Door.
He made it from my actual live Tech Talk. And that's what I need to do. I need to go cut all the talk out of the Tech Talk and make videos from the videos. Make videos from the videos.
And Ty says he hopes we continue to do A-bodies. I do have a couple on the books, so Juby may be building a couple more A-bodies, but it's just going to get to a point that they don't make a firewall. They're not making rockers anymore. So unless your firewall, floor, rockers, and trunk pan are good, we can't do it. It's just.
Or if you have those.
Or if you've got NOS or you bought them years ago, perfect. But if we have to purchase all of that and you need a firewall.
And yes, Charlie, this is the Cobweb and Dust Chevelle.
This Chevelle has been done since September 30th, 2022.
Let's see. First before they come. Charlie, let's see.
Wes said, you better trust Mr. Gordon regarding them spuds.
Yeah. I love him. He's awesome.
I'm excited.
We go over there and feed his cows for him. And
yes, they don't have any names, but he's got a mama cow that has a calf, and it's a little baby bull. And I asked him, I said, Mr. Gordon, are you going to eat that baby? And he said, oh yeah, when he gets a little bigger, I'm going to eat him.
I think it's April 1st, going.
Spring Carlisle is April 19th to the 23rd. All right.
Yeah, and like I say, I'm not real sure on going to Charlie's, but I know it will be spring or summer, sometime warm, because I don't want to get up there and be freezing and not get anything done because of it being too cold and horrible. So, and we'll probably be videoing. I think we're gonna go up and we're gonna meet Wes, and then we're gonna leave from Wes, and I think GoGo is probably gonna come. I was thinking somebody else, but anyways, everybody's welcome to join in on it when we go, and we'll probably do some live and see if we can't fix Charlie's car for him. He says he's saving money for funds for the whatever it's called for.
MR says he found that Skin That Door video. Awesome.
So,
don't forget to hit like on that when you're done watching.
I wasn't gonna charge Charlie nothing now. I had to save up some money to figure out how I'm gonna get there, because I am broke.
I'll figure that out.
Yeah.
I do all the budgeting.
She does the budgeting.
Juby just comes in and goes, can I buy it today? I'm like, can you wait till Thursday?
I did have ads on the YouTube, and since I guess the 1,000 subscribers, and you're able to have ads after 1,000, or you have to have so many watch hours, you have to have so many subscribers, so many likes, so many this, that, whatever, before they start monetizing. And I think I looked at it right before we came on, and I have made a whole $8.24 off of YouTube. So all the hard work is paid off. I've made $8.24.
If you were a smoker, you could buy a pack of cigarettes.
Actually, you can't buy nothing with that $8.24 because they won't even give it to you until after you make a set amount of money.
Well, yeah, before they'll transfer.
Before they'll transfer it, and I think it's
Makes
over
sense.
$100 or something.
Makes sense. So in another 2 years, you might make a little money.
But I ain't gonna say that that's all I've made. $8.24. That's all.
There.
That's all that the YouTube channel has made. But I have had
A lot
watchers.
of you guys have done some pretty awesome donations.
Yeah, they have given me money, sent me stuff, bought me stuff. So
Shirts and stickers and
I have
equipments.
I have got paid for doing this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very, very well, and I never started this to get paid. I try not to do anything that.
It's all kind of been a pay it forward kind of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of my way to help you guys. I work here and everybody thinks I make millions, but I don't. I'm a blue collar worker and I work paycheck to paycheck, like most of America right now. So hopefully we stay getting parts, or we'll have to shut it down, and I guess we'll be doing homesteading videos or.
We've done okay. I mean, we don't know what the next month is gonna do when it comes to parts availability, but Juby was in the office the other day when I was going through. I prioritize once a week all 50 some odd cars that are on the books. I go through and check every single part number, get ETAs from the warehouses, and let customers know what's going on, blah, 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 blah. And I was highlighting, and Juby came in and he looked at my paper, and I was like, oh, you want an explanation? About 2/3 of these cars are missing parts. So that's kind of where we are. If you've got 50 cars on the books, you can't build all 50 of them. 13-ish are buildable. And then when you find those that are buildable, you start calling people. You're like, hey, can you come? Hey, can you come? And some people like, no, I'm in Wisconsin. It's winter. I can't travel right now.
Wes, the fair lane is at Sandy John's.
It'll be here Thursday morning.
Here Thursday. So next Tuesday, we will have a car to work on. It's either going to be a Mustang, because the Mustang's supposed to come tomorrow,
yeah,
or it will be the fair lane. One of the two are going to get worked on. We're going to have some work, because I don't like just walking around talking, even though this was initially what Tech Talk was going to be about, you asking questions, us trying to answer them. I like answering questions, having questions asked, answering them, and also building to show you guys more about building cars.
I wish we could get Sandy John to stay late one day and do a Tech Talk showing his blast, because y'all, he really does a fantastic job. We love that. I mean, he's on the money.
Maybe we can get Sandy John. I don't know if he's still on. His name's John Patterson, Black Mountain Sandblasting in Toccoa. Maybe we can get him to work an evening, and we can go over to his place and do Tech Talk, because I think we can make it from here to his house, to his shop by 7, and we could do live, and he could go through and explain his process of how he blasts them, and why I tell my customers that it's a good thing to have him blasted, because he blasts in the same building, pulls forward and paints, and it never has hands touching it for any moisture. Once it's blasted, it is brought in, it's taped off, and it's painted. John does an excellent job.
Yeah. Sandy John, I'll buy you dinner if you let us do a Tech Talk at your place. I'll email him tomorrow if he does, or I'll tell him Thursday when he gets here.
Yeah. So, and
Gunner said he's used every tip you've showed. Shown.
I don't know.
Let's conjugate and do some grammar, kids.
I would say showed. I showed them.
I showed them.
So.
Sure did, by golly, George.
And I wish I could have did. Hopefully I will get the money up one day to build another Camaro and actually do the book. It kind of came, I we started on the Tech Talk, and it just got to where it was too much to try and do the videoing and taking pictures and all that. I started out in the beginning, if you watch the first video of the Camaro, I started out doing the pictures and stuff, and then it was just too much to do, too much going on, so I ended that and I just went on with the Tech Talk. I was like, I'll just do the book some other day. But I would love to do a book on building them. Like I say, we just got to see, I mean, the world's crazy right now, and we have to see how everything goes to whether or not we're going to be building cars. I mean,
prayer and patience.
Yeah.
Sandy John's got moo-moo cows at his place too, so if we get to go do Tech Talk there,
y'all don't have to ride with her. Luckily, when we leave here, like tonight, when I'm riding,
I won't be able to see them.
She asked me, yeah, she won't be able to see them, so I won't have to hear her go hollering,
"Hey, moo-moos!
Hey, moo-moos! Look, the moo-moos, the boo babies!"
At lunchtime, I rolled my windows down, stopped in the middle of the road, and talked to them for a solid good 60 seconds, and they were all looking at me. Y'all, it's February, so you know all the baby moo-moos are everywhere, so it's just a field full of baby moo-moos. It's fantastic.
I got a Snapchat from her with the moo-moos, so, yeah.
I love animals. I do. I love them. They're delicious and fun to play with.
Got to be more careful. So, I need to catch up on some of Go-Go's videos. Also, Paradise. So, but that reminds me, everybody, if there's anybody here that is new to the channel, go check out Paradise, Mr. Fireman, Go-Go. They all have channels, and
they show you some DIY stuff too.
Yeah. Go-Go is the perfectionist in the bunch. His stuff is spot on. Like he's building some cool stuff.
Yeah.
I know he's been kind of in and out of it right now. He's been taking care of my channel, and I can't thank him enough.
Yes.
But y'all go check those guys out and give them a like and subscribe to their channels. They do the same thing. Paradise Bay, Go-Go, Mr. Fireman. I ain't seen Mr. Fireman on here. So.
ProTech epoxy primer. Yep, that's what he uses. I think he said he uses 22 sand to blast as well. Gunner said, my wife yells to cows. What's up with that? We're crazy. Women are crazy.
Yeah.
And cows are fantastic.
I would, let's see, I've been looking for somebody to come blast, because I have a car that I haven't brought out yet, and then I have a 62 Thunderbird.
Thunder Chicken!
I don't know what I'm going to do with the Thunderbird. I just hated that it's a perfect body. Like, it's probably going to need a floorboard on one side. I would probably patch it because the floors are great. I ripped all the carpet out of it because it was wet. Throwed it in the garbage to keep it from rusting anymore. It was sitting outside. Somebody had sanded it down to bare metal, and it was sitting outside. Well, it was given to me, but it's got all the interior. It's got the tilt-away steering wheel.
That's neat.
All the glass, the trim, all the stuff's there. The only thing I know is it's missing the motor and trans, and it's missing the hood. But it's a 390 62 Ford Thunderbird. Like I say, the body's great. I just hated to see it sitting outside, so I was like, can I have it? I just want to put it up. I don't really want to build it, but I wanted to put it up to preserve it in case somebody that I felt would do it justice would build the car. Would build it, you know, would say, hey man, what are you doing with that car? I would like to build that.
Yeah.
And if it was somebody I felt would build it, then I would tell them they could have it and build it. But it's a 62 Thunderbird. It's got the cool console, the tilt-away steering wheel, and it's all there. It's a really nice car. I had to show it to y'all. But like I hated to see it sitting out there for as good a car as it was. Yeah, I could probably sell it, but I mean, it was given to me, so. I mean,
another pay it forward.
Yeah, another pay it forward.
John, I got your email. I'll respond to you in the morning.
But I do have another car, but I haven't came out with it yet.
It's still secret.
It's still secret.
It's secret.
For right now. But I'm looking for somebody, that's what I was getting at, to blast without, like the Thunderbird. It's got a surface rust on it right now that I think it really needs blasting. I've tried some muriatic acid mix that they say on the internet, and it got the rust down, it knocked it down, and then I had to neutralize it and wash it. But I didn't want to keep doing it in the shop because that muriatic acid on the concrete will eat it up. So I was like, well, I'll wait till I get it to the house and put it in the barn. But I really don't want it at the house in the barn now because I'm running out of room.
Yeah, that was another thing. We're excited about our new place. It's a fantastic property. It's so nice and peaceful, but it's a little smaller than where we came from. So we've got, Juvie was excited because he's got a shop with a wood burning stove and a carport attached to it. And right now he doesn't have a shop because the first thing we did was turn it into a storage shed.
Yeah, so I have no shop. I told my dad today I was thinking about making it a woodworking shop.
You can do that in my she shed?
That thing ain't going. You couldn't put one table saw in there and cut a 2x4 in that little thing.
No. But you could put your supplies in.
Mike R said he's a graphic designer. If it needs someone to help put together a book on the Camaro repair, he'd love to help.
Nice, thank you.
That would be awesome. And like I say, I'm working on trying to get the parts up to do that because I really think, I don't know if it would sell a lot, but I really don't care. If I made the book, I'd probably just turn around and donate the money to something.
We don't know.
Never know.
Neil says, does Medallion see a production increase on their products in the future?
Don't know, because
I doubt it, because we're only allowed to order 3 cans of well-through primer every week. And last week when we ordered our 3 cans, they came from Ohio or somewhere, which is, odd. So I called him up and I'm like, hey, why are these cans coming from way out there? And he said that the local factory is out. The warehouse is completely out. So they're shipping from Ohio. So hopefully Ohio doesn't run out before they produce more. But that doesn't sound like they're upping their production right now.
Yeah. But I need to find somebody that will blast the cars and not warp them. And I don't know what kind of blasting that would do. Sandy John said that he could do it, so I'm going to let him look at it when he brings the Fairlane back, because I have 2 that need blasting. The secret one and then the 62. But once I blast the 62 and get the rust back off of it, I want to treat it. So, like I say, if it's something that somebody's going to build, at least it'll be
garage.
At least it'll be preserved. I was still reading, trying to see, and you moved me.
I did. I apologize.
Blast. Let's see. West Camaro side sandblasting side business. Paradise. Thanks. I asked Sandy what epoxy primer he used, and he recommended Protect. Ken answered several of my questions as well. Mr. Fireman's working on instruction. Thanks. How does Medallion? What's the name of Go-Go's YouTube?
Me and Go-Go answered.
Go-Go's down a couple icons after you on the chat line, on the messages. Let's see, Wes, speaking of roof structure, the aftermarket panel says are 67, 68, but they are really for 67 only. I had to drill for the mirror mounts. Roof structures. Thank you. It takes a lot of shots of footage of Camaro build for the book, Jimmy. Any way to take still shots from the footage? You might could, but I would really like to get in there and pull the measurements. I can look into it. I have a lot of measurements and a lot of pictures that I did before I even did video of it, because I had already planned on making like an instructions sheet, but it don't really cover like all the different year models, and I want to put my little template in there, a cutout, so you can cut out for the templates and stuff like that. Some neat little things. Go.
Ben, it is Medallion Rubber Seal RS5 512, I think, or maybe 522. It's etch weld primer. I'm sure you can't find it.
What was he asking?
What brand weld through primer we use? And we've tried 3M, we've tried other stuff.
You can and show it.
You can. But we don't really need any. I'm just saying that it may come to a point that they don't have as much left over.
Oh, the camera's about there. But
well, it is 8:15.
This is the weld through primer.
Is it RS12?
It's RS 512 etch weld primer by Rubber Seal Medallion. So yes, that's it.
Go, that's what I do. Pause the video and either print screen or use your snippet tool.
Yeah.
To create a JPEG.
So
it's time consuming.
But anyways, like I said, that's some of the stuff that's in the works, and hopefully we'll have a car to work on. Or I'm gonna have something to work on next time, because just talking, and we had like 40 something people on tonight. So
appreciate that, and thank y'all for being patient with us, taking a couple of weeks off. We had to get settled in the house. There's still a bunch.
Yeah, we still haven't unpacked.
There's still boxes all over the floors, and his shop's full of boxes, but we couldn't leave y'all hanging any longer. But I do appreciate y'all's patience and letting us have a couple weeks to try to get our home in order.
William Matthews said he needs a jar on the wall, but on the cross.
I need prayers. I'm gonna cut these.
That's one thing that I haven't got. I got to put my bottles back on the cross because I took them all off when we moved from the house, and I have them all in a box. I've got to pray for them and put them back on, but I do still have one that I'm carrying around for each day that I pray. But I would definitely put one on there for you. I know everybody needs prayers anyways.
And
regardless.
Any of you, if you, like Williams just requested, if you've got unspoken prayer requests, or if you've got something you want to talk about that you need us to pray for you, you can ask, and we will definitely add a bottle to our cross. The cross is up and lit in the house. It's beautiful. We just got to get the bottles back on there.
Go. Be like, we can build a car or plane, but we can't use a computer. Yeah, I can
talking about your dad, because your dad said that's over my head. Go.
Yeah, I can do stuff on the computer. I'm not a pro at anything I do. I know a little bit about everything, and I can figure the stuff out on the computer, but I just cannot sit still long enough to be at a computer, and it takes so much time to sit and write everything, and I can't type.
You can watch him within the first 5 minutes. Watch him sit down as a happy man, and within 5 minutes he's frustrated and angry, and he just can't sit still.
Yeah. So, but anyways,
I'm an administrator. He's a move-abouter.
But definitely had to put William Matthews down.
Matthews.
Cutting
out the frame rails. You got it. You can do it.
Yeah, and
nothing to it but to do it.
I guess it's probably about time to end, because it's about 15 after, and when I looked at the camera when I got the weld through, we're at like 18%, which means it's getting probably close to just dying out, and I hate leaving you guys hanging like that when the camera just cuts out. Let's see. And also Wes,
Black Market, yeah.
Wes actually said that he would be here Monday, and he was gonna help us unpack, and he was gonna cook dinner. He was gonna go with us to get chickens, and he was gonna help me work in the garden and finish tilling it up and put potatoes down.
Gotta put potatoes down.
Yeah, and he was gonna do some tweaking on the YouTube channel and some.
He's gonna check out our recliner. I know that.
And check out the recliner.
Yeah,
he says.
Yeah.
Right now he's sending us pictures down at the beach. I ain't gonna say where, but he's sending us pictures from the beach.
Making me so jealous.
Yeah. So.
Y'all sing the cow song. What's the cow song?
I have no idea.
I know the El Camino song. I'm just not gonna sing it because it's got a dirty ending.
Yeah. Thanks, Neil. May God bless you as well. He sure blesses me.
I appreciate all you guys hanging out with us. I really do.
He says, enjoyed the discussion. Yep, Uncle Wes, the farmer. I call him Uncle Wes. But yeah, I love you guys, and I'll pray for the ones that need prayers, and I'll pray for everybody as a whole. I love y'all, and it's definitely crazy times right now, and you know, I people that know me as a personal friend, or personally know that I'm spiritual, I guess is the word. I don't know. I love going to church, and I have a burden for lost souls, and I want, you know, people that don't know our Lord and Savior to go to heaven with me. You know, I want my friends and people that I come in contact with to join me there. I don't want to leave nobody behind, and it's hard for me to think of people that are going to be left behind. But anyways, enough about that. Just
know we love you, and if you need to talk about that, you can contact us.
I'm always here. I don't talk about cars all the time. My pastor says Jesus and Juby, the JJ team. He calls me.
Where's your bicycle?
It's in there.
So it ain't made it to
the
new house yet?
It's out there. I have a bicycle, and the pastor actually, I was downtown. I got out of church, and I got home, and I was led to go downtown and talk with people. And I got on the bicycle, 43 years old, 42, 43. I can't even remember how old I am. I got on my BMX.
Yeah, it's not like a
mountain bike or nothing.
Mormon missionary mountain bike, y'all. He's not comfort. He's on a bike that's this tall with a seat that's this big that was built in 1983.
It's an old bike.
Yeah.
And I went downtown, and I was down there talking, and my pastor rode by with his wife, and his wife was just waving at me, and I waved back, and I sent him a text. I said, yeah, I'm just down here sharing the word. And he said, yeah, Mary, his wife's name's Mary. He said, yeah, Mary told me, look, there's Juby over there. I bet he's telling people about Jesus. And I said, yeah, I was. And then my buddy came down, and he picked me up because we were going to go hiking. And I threw the bike in the back, and he's like, man, you're doing your thing. Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't let me bother you. I said, nah, we're good. I want to go spend some time with you. So I went with him, and he was talking about powder coating my bike white and gold, and it was going to be my chariot and all this.
Put a crown on it.
And I was like, nah, we're going to leave my bike alone. But anyways, like I say, I love you guys, seriously, from the bottom of my heart. And if you have any questions about anything, or just need somebody to talk to, reach out to me.
Judy's daughter made this shirt, by the way.
Yeah.
It's got my initials on it. It's beautiful.
But I enjoyed it. Love you guys, and we'll see y'all next Tuesday.
Papa will be with us.
Share, subscribe. Erin says Papa will be here. I guess she budgeted it because every time that Papa's out here, I have to pay for a hoodie or whatever we give away.
Yeah, we don't just give it away. And
we don't give it away.
Craig and Denise are not paying for it. Juby and Erin do.
So, but
we love you.
Love you guys, and we'll see y'all. And hopefully we'll have a car to build.
We will. We will have.
We will.
It will be a Ford, no matter what.
So, love you guys, and we'll see y'all next Tuesday. Good night, and God bless you.